compliance with the decision of the various organs of the organized labor, which endorsed earlier the 14 days ultimatum served on the federal government by the member unions of organized labor, who are also members of the tripartite minimum wage negotiating committee. The labor organs further mandated the leadership to take all necessary steps, including a rolling strike, in the first instance, to compel government to reconvene the meeting of the committee in order to bring it to a logical conclusion. Furthermore, in compliance with this mandate, all workers in the public and private sectors at all levels across the country have been so directed to comply effectively. Industrial unions, state councils, all workers' organizations, and our civil society allies have been directed to step up mobilization of their members. All public and private institutions, offices, banks, schools, public and private businesses, premises, including filling stations, are to remain shut till further notice. All those who mean well for the country are to see the success of this action. Furthermore, this action is to remain in force until further directive. Although the issue have been much in the public domain, for the purpose of this strike action, we find it necessary to try to once again further inform the public. The National Minimum Wage Committee, as all of us are aware, was inaugurated in November 2017. This is precisely almost 2 years behind schedule because of the fact that the 2010-2011 minimum wage negotiation agreed unanimously at the tripartite committee level that a 5-year cycle will be very patient, patriotic, and have exhibited very high sense of responsibility by waiting this long. And clearly speaking, all of us could also remember the reaction of the workers when it comes to the centrality of this issue of minimum wage, precisely during the May Day 2017, where workers reacted to say that it cannot be a time without ending. It took the intervention of the Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 2018 May Day to try to pacify workers and give them all the assurance that the minimum wage will actually be delivered as and when due. And therefore, nobody can say at this point in time that workers have not exhibited all the necessary patience, understanding that is required. And therefore, this action is as a matter of last resort. Let me also make the point very clearly that when organized labor decided to issue the 14 days notice, no consultation had been made, period to now. I think it's only this morning that efforts have been made. And therefore, we remain very patriotic in ensuring that what needed to be done is actually done. The National Minimum Wage Committee, as all of us are aware, for emphasis, was inaugurated in March 2018, with timeline to deliver on its mandate of arriving at a new minimum wage in August, September 2018. All of us could also remember that even the Honorable Minister of Labor himself, in February, at the 40th anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Labour Congress, assured workers that they will have the minimum wage in September, despite the fact that all of us are aware. The workers also murmured even at that time that is going to be a long time of waiting. In order to meet this deadline, the committee, in spite of challenges, worked assiduously and meticulously in the course of its assignment to try to even increase the pace of meetings, and also provided an opportunity to all stakeholders, including our state governors. Every state was written officially, and their position was expected to be forwarded to the committee. By the time the committee was rounding up its assignment, 21 states have sent in memorandum, some quoting figures and some saying that whatever is agreed, they are going to pay. The organized private sector also sent in memorandum and proposed figures. Organized labor also did same. And therefore, we have followed all the processes that is enshrined in Convention 131 of the ILO in negotiating the tripartite minimum wage. This was the reason why organized labor was therefore outraged and was also shocked by the unilateral decision of government to adjourn the meeting of the committee sine die or indefinitely to allow for consultations. Our thought is that with the time that the committee have taken, i.e. from November to March this year and up to August, enough time had been given for all the tripartite committee to actually consult and come to the table with a clear mandate. And therefore, this decision was against the principle of collective bargaining. Organized labor considered the conduct of government as an act in bad faith, and certainly is also insultive to our members who have been very patient. The minister's pronouncement generated intense, considerable tension among workers and also provoked sharp reactions from unions, which justifiably argued that government was only out to waste their time and was not prepared for a new minimum wage. These have also put organized labor in a state that we must be able to defend the right of those workers. Concerned that his pronouncement will be capable of rubbishing the work of the committee, cast doubts on the integrity of the government, as well as cause serious nationwide industrial disharmony, members of organized labor reached out to government to consider this decision, but it was actually did not yield any much desired result. Left with no other option, members of organized labor served a 14 days notice on government, which requested that the committee negotiating the tripartite minimum wage should be reconvened to enable it to conclude its work within the stipulated time. These are clear signs that government is not ready for a new national minimum wage. It has only been taking workers for a ride. It has only been taking advantage of workers' misplaced abiding faith or trust. Given this circumstance, this warning strike is absolutely necessary. It is a precursor to the main strike, which will be the mother of all strikes. And we thought that having given this notice and also the warning strike, this should actually serve as a formal notice, and also looking at how these issues have been justified, that workers cannot continue to wait any longer. Workers have, as I said earlier, demonstrated an uncommon patriotism, and therefore the justification for a new national minimum wage cannot be over-argued, and it is about salary earning Nigerian workers. Workers work to earn a living, and therefore earning a living means also that they must be able to take care of their families and their immediate needs. May we remind all Nigerians that before the government increased the pump price of petroleum products and by over 80%, and the devaluation of Naira by over 100%, commodity prices were considerably cheaper. Tariffs were more friendly. Rent and transportation charges were bearable, while wages of workers have remained static. Today, those things have all changed. The economic decision of government had led to fundamental consequence effects on workers and citizens. Electricity tariff, punitive exchange rate, and hyperinflation, all of which led to rising costs of living for workers and other Nigerians, and bad businesses for business people. Government, in appreciation of those hardships, set up the palliative committee to fashion out mitigatory strategies, policies, and programs to cushion the vagaries of its policies. But to date, we are not aware that any recommendation of the committee, especially the one that pertain to workers, have been implemented. Government's pronouncement goes to cast further doubt on the integrity of government, as well as underscores the inherent danger in doing business with government. It is beginning to look like government does not intend to keep its promise to workers. And take note, when workers and other Nigerians do not have capacity to purchase goods and services, businesses will certainly die. This is not about salaried people, it is about everyone. It is about a chain. So clearly, our decision to ask our members to stay at home is justified. We understand that Governors Forum issued a statement that the governors cannot and should not be compelled to pay a national minimum wage. First, the national minimum wage is already a constitutional provision. And therefore, anybody that does not respect the rule of law and the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria is not worthy to hold a political office. We cannot be dictating under the wings and caprices of people. We must respect our laws and Constitution, which is supreme. So it's a constitutional provision. Secondly, we do believe that the reasons why governors find it difficult to pay wages is certainly out of lack of political will and high level of corruption, excessive cost of governance, indulgence in obsessive lifestyle, white elephant projects, etc. In any case, while commending the governors that have indicated their readiness to pay the national minimum wage, and many of them have done so in writing, we advise those who are not prepared to pay the minimum. 21 states have sent in memorandum, and they have quoted figures. So we have followed all justifiable process. In any way, all of us are aware that the problem and challenges of lack of good governance in Nigeria, as I've said, is essentially about corrupt tendencies where public funds are usually diverted. All of us could recall what has happened to the bailouts and even the Paris Club reform. So essentially our challenge in Nigeria is not about lack of resources. It's about prioritizing what is necessary and what we ought to do. And therefore we can also say, and all of us can justify, that our political office holders, from councillor to the highest office in a state, earn a uniform salary. The issue of ability to pay or the issue of resources have not arisen because of the fact that it is the political class. But when it comes to workers and pensioners, a reason will always be advanced. We have treaded this path severally, and even from the first minimum wage, some of these arguments have been propounded, but they have not stood the test of time. And therefore, if we want to build a better society, it's better we see this as a challenge. Because today, if Nigeria is being referred to as poverty capital of the world, we have no reason to be there. And that is why even the workers that we have a pool of the working poor. People are working, but yet they cannot be able to take care of their family. They cannot be able to send their children to school. So clearly speaking, this is not what we envisage, and this is not what we should bargain for. And we remain very committed to ensuring that the issue of the minimum wage is actually concluded in good time for workers to actually benefit from it. At this juncture, we make bold to say that the directive also from NECA to organize private sector is not actually in good faith and should be discontinuous. Once again, we call on all workers in public and private sector of the economy to stay at home until further notice and let this directive be carried out to the latter, because it's a directive that is coming from all our organs. Any organization, public or private, which forces its workers to risk coming to work during the tendency of this strike will have itself also to blame. Comrades, we believe that it is actually the position that in this circumstance, organized labor need to actually inform the press generally. We know this decision may not be easy for someone who have, our doors continue to remain open for dialogue and towards resolution of the issue. And that's why we have, all of us, organized labor, have tried also to be here to try to interface if there is any opportunity to do that. So once again, I thank you immensely. We'll be ready on this side to take up questions from all of you.
Welcome to First View Luxury Hotel. At First View Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit First View Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeline Obamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin First Start, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 080-7578-7133. 35 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.4zhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. 4Z Luxury Hotel, experience the home of comfort. They come.